I tested the new Volvo XC90 during a road trip to Washington to see an old friend. I got to spend a lot of time in the new crossover, and it was extremely comfortable with a silken ride. The new Volvo is a big change from previous models in several ways: under the hood, inside the cabin, and inside the garage. The XC90 T8 is a plug-in hybrid, meaning you plug in the Volvo when you get home, and when it's fully charged, it runs for about 18 miles on electricity, and then it switches to hybrid mode. The combination of the electric motor and the gasoline engine generates a stunning 400 horsepower. As far as dead dinos, the 2-liter engine is both super and turbocharged. The 0 to 60 time is 5.3 seconds according to Car and Driver, which is sports car fast. One of the great things about the plug-in hybrid is that unlike a pure electric car or pure gasoline model, there are no compromises. If you can't plug it in, no matter, it'll still run on gasoline, albeit with a slightly less efficient diet. There are some other things about the 2016 Volvo XC90 that are a departure from the generic people haulers crowding the interstate. The gear selector is made out of Orifor's crystal, and you have to push a small button in the center console to put it in park. If you try to get out of the car without putting it in park, Volvo says it'll set off all types of alarms to remind you. The start button isn't a button at all, but rather a square that you turn to fire up the ignition. Just when I had gotten used to push-button cars instead of an ignition switch with a key, it feels like Volvo played a trick on me. I get into the car, jam my index finger into the dashboard for no reason, and then remember to turn the square to the right if I was interested in locomotion. The majority of the controls exclusive of volume and pause button are operated through a fingerprint collection device, also known as a touchscreen. While you can undoubtedly prove in a court of law which passenger changed the station, it may take a little while to get used to it. That said, enough manufacturers have adopted the iPad on wheels design that I'm starting to fear complaining about the interface will make me sound as if I haven't liked a horseless carriage since they did away with the hand crank. Some of the most often used controls for the driver are on the luxuriously soft steering wheel. And speaking of steering, the Volvo helps you there too. The Pilot Assist system helps you steer on the highway. Russell Datz is a spokesperson for Volvo. He says the XC90 exudes subtle luxury.
Volvo is a unique proposition. I mean, the company has been around since 1927, almost 90 years. It's been in the United States since 1955. So a long history in the United States, and like the Swedes, it's very demure, right? There's an understatedness to driving a Volvo, where people who know they've made it might not feel like they need to flaunt it. So they're very self-confident. They're very stable in who they are as people. They don't have to show it off necessarily, and I think Volvo does that really well.
The Volvo XC90 T8 R design is rated at 53 mpge and 25 miles per gallon on gasoline only. The base price for the vehicle is $68,100. Options on our test car including premium sound, heated rear seats, heads-up display, 360-degree surround view camera, air suspension, and automatically retracting mirrors brings the total price as tested to $82,405. For our latest reviews, subscribe to Real World Test Drives on YouTube and follow me on Twitter @GrantWinter. In Washington, I'm Grant Winter reporting for Real World Test Drive.